Hello, St. Peter's members and friends and all of you who are watching this video. You may have noticed that I did not post this past Sunday's worship service, and so I wanted to take a moment to explain why and also to check in with all of you. As I began to watch the recorded service this week, I quickly realized that the service did not translate well into video. Now, I want to start by saying that this had nothing to do with the person who was recording. The recording was beautiful, and so thank you, Beth, and keep doing what you're doing. I truly appreciate it. It had nothing to do with you. I think that the reason why it didn't translate well was actually because of the service itself, the style of the service. This past Sunday, we did things a little bit differently. We had a stripped down service, and we had a bit more intimate service. I'm not sure if you remember, but one of the first videos that I recorded when virtual worshiping began was a video I recorded in my garage. I was sitting in the quiet of my garage, away from the hecticness of the family mourning, and I proposed a question to you. I asked, "How is your soul?" That morning, as well as this past Sunday and today, again, I will share that, so often when we greet each other or when we're checking in with each other, we ask, "How are you?" We use that question so often that unfortunately it has lost a lot of its meaning or intention. So often we don't even answer it, or we just respond with a good or fine, or quickly talk about the weather, but it doesn't really get down to the intention of that question, right? I'm always searching for questions that encourage us to pause, encourage us to interact more deeply with one another. And I believe that the question, "How is your soul?" is a good one to do that. So this past Sunday, I proposed that question. I shared a little bit about where I was on that Sunday, or where I have been recently. And I also opened up the question to the congregation, to those who were gathered, and they shared. When I responded first, I shared a lot about how I have found myself grieving more recently. Now, I have encouraged people to grieve during this whole entire pandemic. We have lost a lot. Things are different. We are doing things differently, not by our choosing, but because we have to. And so I've been encouraging other people, but I quickly realized that I have not taken the time to pause and to grieve myself. And so I shared with the congregation some of the places or some of the things that I am grieving. Ministry has changed so much. The ministry of presence that is so important to me looks completely different. We can't gather like we have, or like we used to or want to, and I'm grieving that. As I think about my children going back to school and seeing how vastly different it's going to be, not only for them, but for us and for all the students and teachers and administrators, I find myself grieving over what was, and anxious about what this school year will bring. I've also been saddened and just frustrated about all of the division that we're experiencing in our communities, in our friend groups, in this country over how best to move and practice and live during this uncertain time. Spent a little bit of time there, but I did lift up the congregation, recognizing all that we have overcome and all the things that we have been doing during this time. It's amazing that we have been able to meet outside in person, and how we've organized to make it as safe as possible. I reflected on all the ways that people have adapted and changed and checked in and supported one another, and our missions have continued just in a different style. I opened up the conversation to those who were gathering, and so much was shared. Sharings and stories of how people have overcome anxiety during this time. We heard stories about deep grief and sadness and struggle. We heard stories of how work is different and school is different, how this country is different, and reflecting how some things and realities in the past seem so similar to what we are facing today. We heard stories of how people are encouraged in faith and encouraged by others and family members. We were reminded as a congregation just the importance of being able to be together, to be connected, to be able to share and to socialize and to be honest and there for one another. I was blessed by that conversation, and I hope others were as well. I didn't believe that it translated well into video format, and so I wanted to record so that I could also reach out to all of you and ask the same question. The same question that I asked in the beginning of all of this: how is your soul? We are in a completely different place. We have been through so much. We have overcome so much. We have lost so much. We have experienced joy and suffering and everything in between. And so I am curious, how is your soul? If you feel led, I encourage you to reach out, to get in contact with me through email or to give me a call, message on the bottom of this video, whatever you feel most comfortable doing. I would love to hear from you and to see how your soul is doing. In closing today, I would like to offer a blessing. I have asked you to dig deep inside, to bring up and to share the feelings and the emotions that you have right now. And so I recognize that there could be many mixes of emotions that you are experiencing. And so I wanted to offer a blessing for mixed emotions. Just yesterday, I received this book in the mail. It's Emerge: Blessings and Rituals for Unsheltering, and it's from the Still Speaking Writers group within the UCC. And this little book is filled with blessings and prayers and rituals that are very specific to what we are experiencing now. Blessings for virtual worship, and blessings for the first time that we walk out after quarantine, blessings for mask wearing or emotions around those who wear or don't wear masks, blessings for empty pews, and so much more. And so in closing, I would like to share this blessing for mixed feelings, and it is written by Molly Basket. So please receive this blessing. God, they say feelings are a package deal. The yuck and the yum come bundled. God, they say that all feelings are from you. It's what we do with them that matters. But what do we do when our feelings come not tidily trusted, but messily tangled, like a fine silver chain that won't be undone, no matter how long we labor over it? It sits in a box waiting for a miracle worker. I take them out again, the pile of feelings, and this time I ask you to bless them before I begin the work. Bless the anger and the irritation. Bless the gratitude and the joy sparks. Bless the compassion and the selfishness, the fear and the courage, the gloom and the hope, the listlessness and the purposeful action. Bless the love in my life, and bless the distance, emotional and physical. Between those I would reune with, bless the stress and bless the serenity. Bless it all, the whole mess, and remind me that having a rainbow of feelings is your light prismed into spectrum. I feel a little more at ease now. I can see where to begin, to gently untangle, pull there, push there, rest there, and find how it all fits together in one unbroken, beautiful strand. Amen.